Hey everyone, how's it going? Octopus here and welcome back to evercrisis. We're going to be talking about Matt's and Zack's new banner that just came out. Matt's didn't get a costume. It's a little weird what they did with these banners, but we're going to talk about Zack's setup. We're going to talk Matt's setup, if it's worth it, not worth it. But remember, in the end, pull for what you want, guys. It's a video game. You're supposed to have fun. Pull for favorite characters. Everything else comes with skill and time of just ever grinding. So enjoy, have fun, but let's jump in and talk about where this weapon fits and the costume and how it's going to affect the rest of the game. Alright, so let's start off the video with don't forget to do your free 10 pull today. There's a bunch of tickets in the game, blue crystals, but there's for 15 days starting today. We're going to be getting a 10 draw. Really great. Even if you get blues and purples, they still add up in weapon parts. So don't forget to do this. I know I do sometimes and it feels bad, but I got you for the reminder. Now for the actual banner itself, Zack's looking pretty good. Like, costume-wise, Zack's looking pretty good. It's not what I picture when I picture Zack, to tell you the truth. Like, if I'm gonna be completely honest here. When I picture Zack, I picture him more cheerful, playful, something more comfortable. But he does look great, and I love that they added the flower here. So you know he's going on a hot date, right? So if it's up to you, you guys go through costumes, just go for what you like, right? Costume itself, I'm gonna talk about it and everything. But the jacket's nice, the red suit throws me off a little bit. But overall, I think this is a solid look for Zack, so have fun with that. Let's talk about what it does. It boosts HP by +10. Can never go wrong with HP, one of the best stats in the game. I know everyone wants to build glass cannon, even myself, but you need to be able to survive certain hits, especially when the content gets harder. We're going to need more HP or more magic and physical defense up to make up that difference. So boost HP on any kind of costume with damage is always great to see. Now this is going to be like the Final Fantasy 9 banner. It comes along with the attack stance, and you can't go wrong with this. This does stack with pretty much everything in the game. As long as you're in that big red triangle attack stance and it's full, you will get the extra benefit of the 15, 30, 45, so on and so on. The actual setup here gives you +10, so if you have nothing else on your setup that has this, you'll at least get 5% increase in damage. Not the greatest, so you kind of have to invest his build towards this, right? You're going to have to run at least one more thing with them. If you're running a weapon, you're going to get around 30 to 40%, or sorry, 45 or higher, depending on your overboosting. So overall, it's not game changing, it's not completely different, and it doesn't break Zack, but it does complement things that he is missing. Now, when it comes to his weapon, they did the exact same thing with the R ability. I kind of want to stick there for a second, right? So let's unlock level 90, just one copy, 24 HP, and if you spend the mithril ore, which is very limited in this game, you get to go from 6 to 9 ability potency. So as a back weapon for other characters, there's survivability with the attack stance, but you're going to run out of that issue of having boost physical attack, or you're boosting your just attack in general, because there's nothing else adding damage to this build, so it makes Zack very tanky, right? So we'll talk about this more as I go into his builds, as I do in these videos. Not to tell you that you should pull it, but to give you an idea of like, what if you do pull this, what are you mixing it in his build? So level 90 R abilities are tanky Zack. He can should be able to take a hit and not die. So his actual ability here is dual onslaught. He's gonna be doing 340% at your base stat. He's gonna be doing magic attack is decreased, and physical defense is decreased by mid potency and only mid, unless you upgrade this a little higher. So it's one of those pay to win weapons again, or very lucky multiple copies. You have to get multiple copies to make this more useful, but mid on anything is honestly a sweet spot, and you're perfectly fine not going to the high tier, but if you can, it always makes a little bit of a difference, right? So it is like Kuja's Final Fantasy 9 weapon, but Kuja's weapon both lowered the enemy's magic attack and physical attack, where this is single target magic attack power defense, aka pretty much built for the new Bahamut summon, which you don't have to grind out right away. It's there forever. Don't rush it. It's not going to go anywhere. But this does help for those kind of fights where the enemy does do magic damage, but you're using a physical team. So this in one go is very, very powerful, but it's not game changing and not necessary because we have so many utility characters that we end up using. But that doesn't put away with how incredible this weapon is, because it does do two things at once. And then all you need is your healer to do the healing job, right? You lower the threat damage and you lower the defense all in one go, which is really nice. Now, in order to get this mid potency into high after you cast it twice, is OB6. And at max OB, it's still the same thing, mid to high. So you can never cast one-time high potency, which makes this always a double hitter and only at 540% for non-elemental. So it's not going to be the strongest weapon. It's definitely made for utility, and you can only unlock high if you get yourself OB6, which is overboost 6. So when it comes to actual back material, it's great, actually. It's got physical attack boost 20%, so there's no dead slots here for as long as you're making a physical build, and it's coming back the 4th weapon with AoE Cure. Matt's weapon's the other one currently right now, but this opens up the possibility, and I've been showcasing Barret doing incredible heals as a healer. You wouldn't do that to your DPS too much. What you would do is run a full DPS team who have weapons like this on there, and 1 or 2 of those characters can heal during those moments, or all 3 of them take that 1 turn, heal up, and then all 3 go back at DPSing. Since a lot of these heal weapons are coming with a bunch of utility, you don't really need to dedicate yourself to one healer and have all the debuffs and support off of them and rely on them with a sub DPS. Now, everyone can be a main DPS, have utility weapons, and then also do that big AoE heal if they need to. So building those materias with Cura, with like stat sticks on them, very important if you want to go that style. But none of this is really necessary when it comes to the current meta in the game. So it's not like this is game changing, I should change everything and put all my resources into this. It just makes it more convenient that your character has all this one package. You don't have to bring that character with magic attack down and that character with physical defense down, and then your DPS is just DPS. It's nice to mix it up. Does it change it? No. But does it make it easier? Especially when you can have everything in one package. It makes it cheaper polling wise because everything's there. Now, because back to the R abilities, Zack doesn't get any kind of boost attack here. Your main hand weapon or sub weapon and your costume don't give you physical attack up or attack up. There's nothing there to boost attack. It's more defense and your attack stance it's relying on. So that ends up taking away that one prime area where Zack gets his strength. So now we're gonna go into the building part of him after I talk about Matt's weapon. So we'll explain that a little bit more when we get there. When it comes to Matt's weapon, and I don't think Matt's weapon should be overlooked. Matt's weapon is actually incredible. Even though he has a healing weapon already, this is a better healing weapon. So you can still build him healing just like you do with this prime one, but this one has utility, which I think is a great combination. An enemy can raise his defense or be immune to attack down, defense down, whatever, right? But he can't stop you from buffing your defense and buffing your attack. They can lower your defense and lower your attack, and now you have to spend time buffing, and you're noticing that more in the game. Your best, highest magic damage dealer gets the debuff of magic attack down, and it doesn't come off for the whole fight. We have had multiple fights with that. Same thing with physical attack. It's going to happen. Bosses are going to start debuffing us, and the only way to get our strength back is by buffing. So the fact that Matt now has the ability to heal and buff our physical attack characters is very, very good. So let's look at the whole setup here. Level 90 comes a boost heal and magic defense. Again, this is great. HP is good, but if you get enough boost magic defense or physical defense, you don't need as much HP in most fights. But the boost heal, even mixing this with this prime number on the same setup, means that you are going to be a full healer, but now you can deal with that physical attack. But Matt's really good at having these other weapons that like AoE magic defense up, right? Kind of like how I use my Barret right now, where Barret's my main healer on my non-overboost account, but he's got a physical defense AoE buff that helps me survive so much, making Barret like a very great healer. Matt's in that same category, and Matt has all those utilities as well. So you can actually just use Bramble's Spine here, throw that AoE Cure material over here, and where my Barret's currently built, he's healing for almost 1700 health with all that utility. So it works out really, really good. There's plenty of different setups here. If you are someone who wants to take Matt to the next healing level and you're getting annoyed by all those magic attack downs or physical attack down debuffs that's happening to your characters, or you just want them to be stronger, but you don't want to give them their own buffing weapon, beautiful right here. There's plenty of time healers are doing absolutely nothing, and they can just fully buff up your character that's doing a ton of damage and multiply that even more. So overall physical attack is increased by mid to high, overboost 6, 1 cast, high. And then if you overboost it, it just increases the longevity of how long it's there and your R abilities, leaving us at boost heal 40 and magic defense 36. Solid R abilities for our healer and utility character. And again, the R abilities, or sorry, the materia abilities back here are 20% for physical attack, and we get that AoE cure, meaning you don't have to use his prime number, because again, that alone is enough. The only reason you would put prime number there if you didn't need his other utility and you needed another boost heal R ability. So overall, fantastic weapon. Game changing, I would say this one is more important than Zack's for the exact reason I'm talking about, that the enemy can be immune to all physical attack down, defense downs, all that, but he can't really stop you from buffing your damage the other way, only by pushing down your attack, and they are doing that. So this is going to be somewhat important as we go, and it is great just for increasing damage. So overall, is it worth the pull right now? Is this game changing, meta changing? Besides Matt's weapon, you are safe to kind of skip this. If you are someone who really likes using Zack, this will complement him. We're going to talk about his build, kind of give you an idea of Matt's build. Matt's build is literally put that on. He can be your healer. So if you're new to the game, you have the choice between Matt or you have the choice between Barret. Barret and Matt right now are very powerful healers because of all the utility they have. You don't have to make Aerith your main healer. If you're someone who's new, semi-newish, and Aerith isn't fully built, you can bring her as a DPS. She is great. Prism Rod Aerith, this Aerith, and future Aeriths are going to be amazing. So let's jump in and talk about Zack's build, and then we'll cap up everything. So the small issue, and not a big issue, I was talking about is that Zack, if you run his new weapon, you need to run R abilities on characters. You can't just stack HP and all that, because you're going to end up with a character that has almost no damage. Now, my non-overboost account, my attacks usually round around 2,000, 2,200, and I'm passing the content. I'm doing the very hard crisis dungeons, doing all the important quests during the events that don't have icons, because that doesn't matter, right? But if you want your character to really dish out damage and you're bringing them there for that, and not just utility, which Zack could just be that utility because he has a really good setup. If you want him to do damage, you're gonna have to mix this up with other weapons that have physical attack up, and he's currently only has 2. Realistically, if you really want to rely on non-elemental damage to benefit from his boost physical attack, Zwinehinder is one of his great weapons for this, because it... Oh, why is it? Excuse me, game. That Zack weapon, not Glenn's weapon. Don't know what happened, but here we go. Zwinehinder. Basically, this is his big damage-dealing weapon, like Clouds and Tifa's during the Final Fantasy IX banner. This is a non-elemental at just your base. It's 500%, which is already great, and it's got boost attack on it. And then when you OB6 it, it's 780. When you fully max this out, 940%. So it does great damage. It's got good materia slots, and it even has a healing slot there. Kind of funny, right? To go along with his cure. If you need just a spot to do single target cure, making him a very easy solo character. You can have some fun with characters once you start maxing them out, overboosting crazy. Zack can kind of just take care of himself. One boop, full heal. So damage wise, you can mix these two together, but again, you're running into the issue that now, because let's just say you have overboost 6, you only have 34 points over here, right? And that's if you're using the main hand, because you do also want to benefit from this being high, so you can be more attack stance. So you have to choose one or the other. Most of the times, 15% increase in damage is great. So if you do run that, all your back weapons that are from other characters, your sub slots, have to be physical attack mixed with attack stance. So something like Matt's weapon, right, Killer Hornet, which has both of them, this would be a staple on Zack's build, because he's missing physical attack, but you also want to increase your boost physical attack potency. So in order to really ramp up his damage, Killer Hornet needs to be as overboost as possible in his backhand, right? That's one of those weapons that are going to really help him. His other weapon that has physical attack, if you're going to run it, is Falchion. So if you're not using Zwinehinder for the damage and you're facing like wind weak damage, then you can bring this in for the physical attack, or just for the physical attack itself. And then the other one, obvious one here, is to complement that debuff that Zack does with his new weapon, plus it's got physical attack on it. So Black Whiskers, Halloween weapon, also very good choice against water weak enemies. So this combination of overboost 6 is really good as well. Over here, you're not going to get that high potency for physical defense down, and you're only getting mid potency with the water down at OB6, but again, mid is great. So having this combination in the main hand, in my opinion, and then having Killer Hornet back there. If Killer Hornet is overboosted enough, then you can switch this to offhand so you can again benefit from this new weapon having that physical attack boost there, right? So I think the combination of these two is very strong, or these two, if your back weapons have high overboost and they're complementing the physical attack already, then that's a great combination. Everything else that's on here is like heal up, HP, defense. It's not going to really benefit too much. It can be used, it depends on your account, but realistically it's Black Whiskers, Falchion for that boost physical attack, or Zwinehinder for its one solid hit to be complemented by the boost attack stance. This one I would definitely just have in general. As long as you can wishlist this, the OB6 will help you in so many fights that are weak to water. It's just one of those pay-to-win weapons because you have to have multiple copies. One copy is great for the physical attack though. You're just not relying too much on this being any mid or high potency anytime soon. So, Zack, very strong character right now. Does he need this to make this great? Not at all. Does he need this to make this great? Not at all. As long as you're getting high amount of attack out of your character, meaning you're stacking the proper R abilities, boosting them up, they're not as important. They're just the next step. So if you are someone who really enjoys Zack, you can build them that way, right? Go into the R abilities in the back. Motor Drive's a really good one to use too if you're lacking physical attack and you don't have his Black Whiskers. Tifa's Motor Drive is another weapon that will go along with Falchion as well, that has huge physical attack, right? Physical attack 46 points when you get 23 off of this in the back end. So you can build a very strong Zack, and there's nothing wrong with it. Lucia's Gun's another good option as well, just for that physical attack boost, because again, at OB6, 46 points, at max, 54 points, all good weapons to complement that lack of attack that Zack's missing. But do you have to go that strong all the time? No. All that utility he's going to bring, he can be that sub DPS, no problem. But if you want to make him that main DPS, you kind of have to work on those weapons that have attack stance and damage with them. Barrett's enemy launcher, what do you call it? Matt's Killer Hornet, so on and so on, right? If you really want to complement his damage slash utilizing that attack stance. So right here, boost attack, boost his attack stance. So when you use Zwinehinder, it'll stack with this really nicely. So overall, banner is good. Is it worth going out of your way with New Year's coming up and all the meta? There's always going to be something better. Again, this works. It makes Zack work. It works on a new Bahamut. It's got tons of utility, lots of survivability, and the rest is relying on your back weapons wishlist system to make him strong. He can be strong. He won't be the strongest, but he'll be powerful with great utility. And here's like an example. If you're someone who has like good builds on other characters and their R abilities are great, my Zack has 3,316 physical attack. This is a free-to-play account, by the way. Using his utility. My cat's here, by the way. Want to say hi? We're using the vent weapon for its boost attack, right? 27 points. And then I'm using his Halloween weapon just for the 16 points over here, because the rest of my other weapons, which again, just pure luck, but as you build your accounts, your characters can get strong. You're not going to have this in a team setup because you're most likely going to be using Sephiroth and Cloud on the same team. But with the right R abilities and the boosted weapons, eventually you don't have to go out of your way. It's nice if a character can take care of themselves and use weapons that are not being used in the party of 3, but solo Zack built, you can build any character realistically. Everything you're grabbing is to make fights easier. So the utility on these weapons are great, right? They give them survivability, more HP, and they'll add that utility of defense down, magic attack down, letting the whole party survive. So a character doesn't have to be ridiculously strong like this. So if I do take this away and add something with HP, which we're looking at, we're gonna drop an attack. So let's just say I put that on HP, right? Because the new weapon has HP and it has attack stance. Now Zack's at 3,000. But now he's got survivability with 3,000. And if that was a new weapon, also utility. Obviously, the new weapon won't be at 360 unless you overboost it a bit. But that's what your goals are. You're overboosting weapons. And if your back weapons aren't as overboosted for the physical attack R abilities like my account is, then the Black Whiskers would be over here, taking that 36 into the front. So we would go, oh, I can't do it this way. But we would go in this direction and then switch that around. So you can even see that doesn't drop that much. So build the Zack the way you want, build every character the way you want. These are just ideas of how to build your characters, where these weapons sit, and they all sit very nicely. If you need it now to make your Zack stronger and you want to be stronger, because having that attack stance, the attack stance where your physical attack is increased, then you want to do that to complement this physical attack. More damage, 15%, 30% coming from his costume. So it's a great banner, especially Matt's weapon. It just isn't necessary for your account right now. So with that being said, let me know what you guys are doing. Are you pulling for Zack? Are you skipping? Are you pulling for the Matt weapon? Again, have fun with the game. It's up to you guys. Honestly, every banner works as long as you work the count around it. But the luckiest thing you can do is use the weapons that the game gives to you. So if you're overboosting a character you're not using, but you have like 3 overboosts, 4 overboosts on them because of random draw tickets, you might want to use that character. Overboosted weapons are very powerful. So build around that. For now, thank you guys so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll smell you later.